Hi everyone and welcome to another Fusion tutorial. Hopefully last lesson what you did was to get a chance at actually having a go at this drawing that you can see on screen. The aim of this tutorial is to give you a bit of a walkthrough as to how you might attack a drawing such as this. All right, so let's take a look at the drawing first of all. Now it looks like a pretty straightforward block that we have here. A lot of people would make the mistake early on by just jumping straight into the drawing and perhaps making a sketch of the front face here and doing an extrusion. But really, it's important that we take some time, a few minutes, just to understand actually what's going on with this actual object. So the first thing to note here when I look at this is that there are these arcs that are present in this drawing. And I can see when I look at the pictorial view here that this is actually not a flat surface. This is actually the result of an arc, if you like, that's kind of cut that out, resulting in that kind of curved face there. And I see another curved face here, and I can see the same on the inside. Now, how do I know that is a curved face here? Well, I can see there's three radius values here. One pointing to this outside edge here, which we can see, which is basically this one here. Then there's the interior kind of one, which is the undercut there. We've got this cut here, which is there. All right, so mental note there, there's something going on there. All right, what else do I see here? Okay, I see a chamfer here, which is present in this. So I can use the chamfer tool. What else? Well, we've got this business here. Now, what does this mean? This means that there are two holes here, 2 by diameter 20. So it's an external diameter here of diameter 20 by 30 millimeters deep. This U means deep. So that is a drawing standard. Whenever you see U, think deep. Okay, then it goes down to a diameter 10. And around this area here, it goes through 100 millimeters. So basically what I can see here is that we have a diameter 20, which is basically across here. It goes 30 millimeters deep. Then it steps down to a diameter of 10 and then basically goes through the rest of the material. And what do you know? 75 and 25, well, that's 100 millimeters basically kind of cutting through there. Okay, and we've got the same hole here. It's another diameter. Remember, there's two holes here. It's a diameter 20 stepping down to 10. And again, it's going all the way through there. All right, so I'm now going to jump in, and my demo is really going to be to try and keep this as simple as possible for everybody. So I'm really going to kind of keep it basic. You may attempt this slightly differently, but I kind of want you just to kind of see it how I see it. So the first thing that I see here is just a simple rectangle that's got a series of cuts in it. I'm actually going to add this material on at the end. You could start by making a little step down, but I'm definitely not going to try and waste time and draw this out. I'm just going to jump straight in. What do I know? I know that it's 160 long. I know that it's 100 in height, and I can see that it's 65 in width. The 105 here refers to this little 5 millimeter block that's kind of added on. So I'm just going to go with this 100 by 160 by 65. All right, so let's jump in. We'll move this out of the way for a moment, and I'm going to jump into Fusion. You can see I've already modeled up the object there, but I'm actually going to start this off in a moment. So there you can see those holes. These are what we call counterbore holes. That basically allows a bolt to sit inside there. In fact, why don't I show you what I'm talking about there for a moment? Let's have a little look. We'll see whether we can find an example. Okay, here I go. I'm just going to bring this across. So a counterbore hole. So here's an example there. So you can see that they've drilled a larger diameter. Then there's a smaller diameter. And then that means that the head of the bolt or possibly a screw would sit in there. All right, back to Fusion. All right. So that's what it looks like. So we're looking to create a block that looks like this. So let's start afresh. All right, front view. Let's do a sketch on the front view. I am going to draw something that looks like a rectangle. Come on, computer, wake up. Here we go. And my rectangle is going to be basically, let's go 100 high. So I'm just going to type in 100. And then I'm going to type in 160 across. Oops, sorry, my bad. 100, tab 160. Enter, job done. Finish the sketch. Let's extrude that now, and we're going to extrude that value of 65. So I've actually got my drawing in front of me here. So rather than kind of rather than flicking screens back and forth, I've got it in front of me. All right, there's my block. Okay, so now what I need to do now is to make a series of cuts. All right, so let's bring that up for a second. I'm just getting organized here because I actually do want to bring up that drawing again for you. Give me one moment. Here is the drawing. Okay, so the first cut that I'm going to make is this one here, which is a value of a radius of 170. And I note that it is basically at a center point, 80 millimeters back from the block and 32.5 millimeters in, which is basically half of the block, isn't it? So let's go about doing that. So I'm basically going to create an arc from this point here, and I'm going to extrude it down. I'm actually going to extrude it down to this level here, which is 40 plus 12. So we've basically got 52 deep. My intention then is I can make this other cut inside there. So let's kind of focus on that first. Let's get this out of the way. And what I'm going to do on that top face, I'm going to create a sketch on that top face. There we go. Let's zoom in. He says, there we go. All right, let's create a construction line. And I'm going to go over to construction there. On that back edge there where the midpoint is, you can see with the triangle, I'm just going to create a line there that's about 80 millimeters long, as it said. And I shouldn't need to dimension this to the middle. You can see there it's already 32.5. And if I do try, it's going to tell me it's over constrained. And that's because I was using that mid constraint there. All right, now we need an arc with a radius of 170. So I am going to go down and create an arc, and the one that I'm going to use is the center point arc here. And we're going to do it from that point. Whoops, I'm just going to switch my line back to a continuous line. And I'm going to type in a value of 170. There it is, and I'll scribe my arc through there. Job done, finish sketch. All right. So now I can separate these two parts. Wonderful. So I'm going to take this part. I'm going to extrude that down a value of 40 plus 12, which gives me 52. Sorry, negative 52. And I'm going to make that cut. Wonderful stuff. All right, let's have a little look at what I've got in here. Now, so imagine what I've done is I've made this cut down to here. Forget about this part. Forget about this part. I'm going to worry about that part last. But now what I'd like to do is make that cut in there. All right, let's have a look at the drawing. I can see we have a radius of 175 here. Okay, so we can do that a couple of ways. R70, 175 times 2, that's basically 350. So just follow me through what I'm going to do here. I'm going to jump on that face this time, create a sketch. I actually need to reference that again, so I'm just going to create another construction line from that back face there, and we remember that it was 80 back. And this time what I'll do is I'm just going to create a circle in here. Let's switch to that, and I'm just going to type in 350, and you can see there, you can actually see that it's actually past this point. Let's finish the sketch. Let's see what happens here. All right, we are going to select that surface, both of those there together, and I just use my shift key there. And what we're going to do now is extrude that upwards, and you can see it's going to make a cut. And when I look at my drawing, I can see that it's going to go 12 millimeters up, and that's just made that cut in there for us. Look at that, beautiful. All right, we are flying. Let's get the next part done. So if I bring my drawing back up, where are you, drawing? Not that one. Let's go. Where are you, drawing? Here we are. So we're now going to make another cut here, which is basically this step here. Radius 115 from that same center point there. Okay, let's do that. Let's get back in. We'll move this out of the way. The joy of having two screens. 115. All right, we're going to work off this face. So let's select that face to draw on. We'll make a sketch. Let's do the same thing again. I'm just going to find the midpoint there. 80 mil back. Okay, now switch back to continuous. We're going to go to an arc this time. We're going to do the center point arc. This is just like using a compass. My value this time is going to be 115. And then I'm going to scribe the arc through there. Wonderful, that works. Finish the sketch. Okay, now I can make that cut down in a negative, what's my value? Negative 12. Job done. All right. So whilst we're at this point here, what I might do is to think about, let's think about putting these holes in the top here. Okay, now you can see how they step down. We've got that diameter 20 stepping into a diameter 10, 30 millimeters deep. Now for this, we're actually going to use the hole command here. So let's have a look at how we might do that. All right, so let's get some more dimensions here. Okay, what have we got? 82 plus 35, so 82 plus 35 back from this back edge. So what have we got? 117 millimeters from here, and we can see it's in the center, so 32.5 millimeters in. All right, that gives us a reference point. We'll use the reference point from this back edge, 117 millimeters, which we're getting from combining those two. All right, 117, let's do this. All right, hole tool, check this one out here. If you haven't seen it before, it lives in the create menu. There it is, shortcut is H. I'm just gonna grab it, and I'm just going to place it on this face anywhere. I'm going to click somewhere there. Now, for many of you, you've probably got a simple hole. Now, if you check out this hole dialog box that pops up, the one that we want to use, the hole type, is going to be this counterbore one. Now, it gives us a few things here. You can check things out. What have we got? Okay, we're going to put it in a value here. So you'll remember if I looked at my drawing, the diameter was 20 millimeters. It steps down 30 millimeters. So I've just typed in 30 millimeters here, and then it steps down to 10 millimeters there. And this value in terms of how deep it is, it's set to 100. So I've got all those values in there, which define the properties of the hole, but I need to position it, and I need to position it relative to two edges. So if I hover around this edge here, I get a value. Here I go with my dimensional constraints. So I'm going to type in 32.5, and that's just pulled that in. And I'm going to reference it to this back edge. Okay, so now I've got, what have we got? What did I say? 117. And I'm going to hit enter and click OK down here. And now we've just made that hole. And you can see there it's cut in there. Nice counterbore hole going all the way through. All right, we're going to do another counterbore hole. And what we now need to do on this one is select the hole. It's going to remember the settings that we set up. Again, the hole type this time is counterbore. I'm going to select this face here. I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to measure that one there. We're going to say 32.5 to the center. And then when I look at my drawing, I can actually see that from the back edge, it's 35 millimeters. Okay, that pulls that to there. I'm going to keep the settings the same, and we are going to click on OK. There we go. We've got that hole cut in there as well. All right, bring the drawing back across. All right, what have we got? We have this chamfer area here. Okay, so we're going to use the chamfer tool. Let's do that. Let's roll around. We are going to go, in fact, let's get some numbers. What do we know? Okay, it's 25 millimeters down and 15 millimeters in. So remember that, 25 and 15 millimeters in. Move that across. We're going to go and modify. We're going to use the chamfer tool here. We're going to click on this edge here. And we are going to use, if you've got equal distance selected, we're going to use the 2 distance one here. All right, so in terms of, and you like, for example, if I push this in here, that's going to give me a value. And I'm going to push that in a value of 15 millimeters. Okay, now I've got that. I'm going to hit enter. Whoop. I want to edit that again. So let's go back down here, edit feature. This time I want to pull this down 20 millimeters. In fact, no, it was 25 when I look back at my drawing. There we go. Let's just check. Here it was, 25 down, 15 millimeters in. Okay, so we've got that. I'm going to click on OK. Great, there's my chamfer. So remember, we've got 2 holes. And the good thing about those holes, if we did need to change them, we could. Okay, chamfer is done. We are almost there. What else do we have to do? Let's bring it across. How about we add this piece of material down here? So what do we know? It's 5 mil down, 30 mil across, and it's set 60 millimeters in. Okay, 5 mil 30, set in 60. Let's do a sketch on this face. All right, rectangle, let's do it. Let's go on here. It's what, 5 millimeters down. It was 30 millimeters across. Let's lock that in there. Now we just need to give it a dimension from this back face. So we'll take a reference point to here, and the measurement was 60. Wonderful. That's all fully defined. And how about we extrude this guy? We'll just kind of check that out so you can kind of see it. We're going to extrude it this way, and the block was 65 millimeters. So let's go negative 65. And I just want to make sure that my operation is set to join there. Okay, so we have that going on. All right, let's back to the drawing. I know I'm going pretty quick here. We can then see there's a little step or a little cut going all the way through. I can see that through the hidden detail here. And we can see here, all right, so what do we got? It's basically 5 millimeters up. It's set in 20 millimeters, even on both sides. That's reference to that edge there. Okie dokie, back over. So let's do a sketch on this back face. Okay, there we are. I'm going to draw a rectangle that kind of looks just something like this. We are going to say from here to this outside edge is 20 millimeters. We'll do the same, basically referencing to there, another 20 millimeters. So everything is looking good so far. And we know from the drawing from there to that edge there is set to 5 millimeters. Great, I don't need to worry too much about that line not being constrained. Let's finish the sketch, and we are going to select both of those together using the Shift key. And we are going to make a cut with that going all the way through the object. So in this case, the extent type here can be set to all the way through, and that's going to make that cut. All right, so we should now have a part. Let's check it out. We're going to apply material to this part. So we'll go physical material. We will put aluminium onto that part. I'm going to close that. I'm just going to give this a name. Let's call this the, what was this? This was the machine clamp. I'm just going to hit save on that. And then I am going to get a part mass. So what have we got here? Let's go properties. And here we have 1,781.978 grams. And that's it, folks. That's how I've modeled it. Now, again, you guys may have come up with a workflow that is better than mine. I really just wanted to show you, like, don't overthink it. It's a rectangular block. Make some cuts, add a bit of material, make another cut, job done. Things that we've learned in here, making sure that you spend some time analyzing the drawing, just getting a plan together, a refresher of how to use the holes, particularly the counterbore holes there, and also sort of the referencing using the art tools and those sorts of things. All right, with that in mind, maybe you want to have a crack at redoing it. That's up to you. But yeah, really just wanted to clarify for you how you can actually model that. So thanks for coming by and watching that. Hopefully that provided some insights for you. I'll see you in the next video.